Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. There we are. I think I got it now. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Audio is back, yeah. A lot of things been going on, guys. How are you? How are you, Nicole? How are you, Rico? Nicole, how was your New Year's? How was your Christmas, everybody? Mine was kind of quiet. I didn't expect anything. My daughter did come over and spend the evening with me, and we got to visit for a while. It was a nice Christmas day. I enjoyed it. As you guys can see up on the screen here, I've got Mayhem 11 scheduled for May 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It says a Mayhem weekend, but it's actually Thursday is the meet and greet. Friday night we investigate. Saturday night we investigate, and Sunday we depart. Should be a hoot. Right now we don't have. Let me see here. We don't have too many new guests lined up, but we do have the standard here. I've got a couple that I'm fishing for here. We'll see how that works out. Somebody that would be quite interesting to everybody. And then all the information about the cost and whatnot is here. So if you want to check that out, then go to, as you see at the top, there's www.simplyGhost.com/Mayhem11, and you'll find the website here. I can't. I'll throw it in the link here. Copy. Control V. Enter. There you go. There's the link, and that'll give you all the information. As you can see here, tickets aren't on sale yet. They don't go on sale till noon tomorrow. I want to give everybody the opportunity to buy their tickets, because if I just post it up there, last year it sold out in about 48 hours. I didn't have anything left, and I kind of anticipate ticket sales going very quickly again this year. So we'll see. Hopefully they do, and it works out. But you never know. But it is scheduled, and I am looking forward to kicking that off. Catch Meow, how are you? How are you? Good to see you in here. So you guys say, where did I go for the last month and a half? And really, it hasn't, my health has been up and down. But I can't even blame it on the health lately. Let me go ahead and switch over. And by the way, I've got a lot of light in here. I tried to tone it down a little bit, but it's just so light in here. It's just blowing everything out behind me. Let me see here. Switch over to my command scene. There we go. So we got a lot of things going on. Obviously, I need a haircut. First off,
Dennis.
What's been pretty crazy. Let's see here. Hey, Sean, how are you? How are you? So, we've got a lot of things going on here at the Abbey. And I just wanted to share that with you guys, let you know it's not going to affect anything that we do, but they have shut down the Abbey and sent everybody home from starting, today, January 1st, and they won't reopen the monastery until March 1st. And all the other staff has been furloughed until March. Some of them have decided they can't hang out and wait. They don't want to draw unemployment and have found other employment opportunities, and since have turned in their resignations and aren't going to be back, which is sad because they're friends of mine. You know, I've been here long enough. I'm friends with everybody. It was a decision made by, obviously, the owners. Januaries and Februaries typically are not very financially sound for the Abbey. But this year, and I would say, because we're all struggling, we're all fighting with economics right now. Hey, Stringster. We're all fighting with the economics right now. And you know, you're kind of spending your money where you can, where we don't have that expendable money anymore. So you're kind of picking and choosing where you do spend your money. And obviously, it's not necessarily being spent on big weddings anymore or big events and stuff like that. In fact, a lot of the companies that had Christmas parties last year didn't have Christmas parties this year, and you were damn lucky if you got a Christmas bonus or anything. A lot of people didn't even get a Christmas bonus this year, which is a sign of the economy and the times that we're living in. But as a consequence, the Abbey this year really took a hit, and from October through December, sales were way down in the event center, which generates all the, you know, probably, I'm going to say at least 80% of the income generated here at the monastery. And it just fell off so bad that they decided to close the event center really until March 1st. But it does affect the 5 employees working within the monastery here, and they'll send it back to the skeleton crew. We'll have somebody in well, Sunny, if you guys met her when you were at Mayhem last year, Sunny will maintain and still be here because they need somebody to, you know, be able to collect monies and keep tabs on the books and stuff like that, answer phones. Brenda, Lauren, and a few of the others have been furloughed. They won't be back until March. And then we have Bernie, who does the maintenance around here. He will be left on staff, but Chris, his co-worker, has chose to move on and found employment somewhere else. So he won't be back in March. Jeanette, the housekeeper, who has been here for like 3-4 years, has decided to move on, as has Lauren, who typically handles all the wedding events and stuff like that take place over at anything that's involved with the event center, then that would have fallen under Lauren there. So she's gone. She's actually going to the St. Cloud Hotel, which that's really cool for 2 reasons. A, the St. Cloud Hotel is opened up again, and B, she's a sweetheart, and I'm glad to see her move on. It'd probably be a step up for her, but I'll miss her here. Still see her around, so it's not like gone. And then there's been a few other ones. The kitchen staff has the ones that have been hit the hardest because they had almost 30 people in the kitchen and the event center as waiters, dishwashers, and stuff like that, who have also been furloughed. So some of them, it didn't matter. It was, you know, a lot of the kids that worked over there, and I say kids because they started here when they were like 15, 16 years old. Now they're in their 20s. Still kids to me. But it was always a part-time gig for them, so it really doesn't affect them. They'll be happy to come back and whatnot. But some of them that were depending on it as full-time income, you know, you got no choice. You have to work to pay the bills. So a lot of shakeup going on, but we'll all ride it out. As far as Ghost Gramps here, it doesn't affect me a bit. I actually pay rent to be here. I bring in a lot of income throughout the year for the monastery and whatnot. I got a cat here and everything else on me. And so and plus the fact I'm a free night watchman. And so I'm pretty safe, and it won't affect me a bit. So those are some of the changes. I know that if you're local, or maybe you have friends here in Canyon City, that there's a lot of rumors going around, and it's not a permanent thing, and it's not anything that anybody needs to get too shook up about it. It's just a management decision, and I certainly understand it. It's if you're going to lose thousands and thousands of dollars. The Abbey has been struggling for years and years and years to stay in the black, and so it's a financial decision. But again, they'll be back and maybe stronger than ever. We'll see what the future holds. Nobody knows. So that kind of sums up the what's going on here at the Abbey. And happy New Year's to everybody out there. Hope it's going to be a good one. I do have some other things coming up. January 9th, I go in, and I don't usually share stuff like this with people, but I go in to get another evaluation on my heart, which will ultimately lead, and I've known it for quite a while, that will ultimately lead to my third pacemaker. First one was a catastrophe. I ended up 48 days in intensive care in 3 different states. I started out in Kansas, ended up going to Nebraska, and from Nebraska I came into Colorado, being transferred because I exceeded the expertise of each hospital, so they moved me until the last 32 days I think I spent here in Colorado in intensive care. And then it was like a month and a half. I had a PICC line in my arm, and 3 times a day I had to go down to the clinic and actually get antibiotics shot into me for about a month and a half. After I got out of the hospital, it was miserable. It was a fuck up on the jerk surgeon that talked me into getting the pacemaker that I didn't need in the beginning. But being a specialist and him being the expert, I took his advice, jumped into the pacemaker, and right after the pacemaker, they did an ablation, and that's where pacemaker went south within 24 hours. Then they did an ablation, and that really screwed everything up and sent me into intensive care. They ended up, when I got back into Colorado some 14 days after I was in the hospital in Nebraska, then the first thing they did was pull out that first pacemaker that was put in, because it was infected, and that was creating a lot of the issues I was having. As a consequence, now I didn't need a pacemaker to begin with. When I got to Colorado finally, they found out that the doctor that did the ablation and the initial pacemaker was being sued by 6 other people in the state of Washington for false ablation and Medicare fraud. And he had 3 lawsuits pending in Nebraska, where I got this done at, because he said I needed it. And it turned out that then he got fired right after me, because there was a big battle that ensued afterwards, and I demanded I get released from Nebraska and sent to Colorado to die, is basically what I was trying to do, because they were killing me in Nebraska, and I knew I didn't have a chance. And I figured if they wanted to send me to Omaha, and I said, no, if I'm going to croak, I'm going back home to Colorado. So long story short, I get to Colorado. They look at my medical record and they said there was no reason that I needed a pacemaker. So then we started researching the doctor and found out that that it was all for money for him. When they pulled out the pacemaker, they found out that I had a huge pacemaker. In fact, he cut my muscle in my shoulder here, and now I can't even twist my arm completely around because the pacemaker was so gigantic sitting in my chest. When the doctor pulled it out in this Loveland, where I ended up in Colorado, they said, well, you got the Cadillac of the Rolls Royce of pacemakers, and all you needed was an old Chevy. I don't understand why you put this one in. Well, the difference for him was probably $40,000 more for the surgery, and a kickback from the corporation that built the pacemaker, and so it was all about the money. And he got to bill Medicare all these extras, because that was my insurance. It was just Medicare, and so he was milking the system for the money. As a consequence, I was also told there in Greeley that not only did I have the Rolls Royce, but I found out that now, if they disconnect that pacemaker, I die, because now I'm 100% dependent on a pacemaker. So that's always good news. So at any rate, they did an ablation, because my heart was in AFib. So the upper chamber of my lower chamber, your heart kind of beats like this. Well, mine was just kind of dancing around, and each chamber kind of doing its own thing, and they call that afibrillation. And so my heart was just jumping all around. So what they do with the pacemaker is they put in a lead in the bottom chamber of your heart, and then they put in a lead at the top chamber of your heart. And that way you get that rhythm, that constant rhythm of a beat. Well, when he did the ablation after he put in the pacemaker, he fucked it up so bad that they couldn't get a lead into the upper chamber of my heart. So, and that's he did when they did the initial first pacemaker in Nebraska. He put the lead into the upper chamber of my heart, and into the lower chamber of my heart, but he couldn't get that lead into the second, or up into the upper chamber of my heart. So as a consequence, the bottom of my heart was going doo-doom, 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 but the top was still flipping out in AFib, doing its own dance whenever it wanted to, which was fine and good, because in a sense, when I got the second pacemaker, they said, we will get that second lead in, and then we'll get that constant and steady beat in the upper and lower. But it turned out typically a pacemaker is almost a outpatient service. They'll keep you overnight just to make sure, but really it's not that big a deal. But surgery takes 45 minutes to maybe an hour. It's amazing. But mine went over 6 hours because they couldn't get that lead into the upper chamber of my heart, which was a very important, because that's the only thing that was also going to help me with my breathing. Not only just my heart, but I overall feel better. They couldn't do it, and after 6 hours of being in surgery, they called it and decided, well, he's just going to have to live with the one lead into the lower heart part of my heart. So they went ahead and did that, sewed me up. Then it was a matter of another 25 days, 30 days after that I was still in the hospital because I had a major infection due to that first pacemaker, being septic. So finally I got to leave, but then they tell me, okay, Dennis, this is what's going to happen is we need to reschedule you for another pacemaker. And the specialist now in Denver says, I will aggressively put in that second lead. Well, talking about my heart, and it's been attacked now 8 times through different surgeries. I'm an old fucker. What do you mean by aggressively? Is this like a do or die thing? And sure enough, he said, there's, given your age, your overall health, it's high risk. Well, I was told this like 3 years ago, but he told me, he says, eventually your breathing will get so bad because even though you're that's a whole nother story too, is I've got pulmonary fibrosis. So even though your lungs are slowly dysfunctioning, I'll say, your breathing's going to get worse and worse and worse, because what air you are still able to breathe in, your heart's not going to be able to produce it, the oxygen to feed the rest of your body. And that's where I'm at, guys. I've come to a point where, before I digress, going back to, so he says, this is the specialist here in Denver, he says, your breathing is going to get worse and worse and worse, and eventually you won't be able to breathe. Well, at that particular time, it hadn't gotten to that point, and so I wasn't too freaked out about it and whatnot. But yeah, last year was tough. It was hard for me, and every time I'd get a little something would happen, the breathing would get worse and worse, and now it's to the point where I'm willing to take that risk. It's a high risk operation, and I've probably got a 50-50 chance of coming out of it. And for years they told me, in fact, tomorrow, not only is it Axe Batch's birthday, by the way, happy birthday, Axe Batch, but I was told now 15 years ago tomorrow, that due to my pulmonary fibrosis, they said, get your affairs in order. You got 18 to 24 months. Oh, no, I got girls I ain't kissed and dances I ain't danced. So that didn't work in my schedule. And I said, oh, hell no, that. So here I am 15 years later, and I'm still here to tell the tale. So the doctors don't know shit. And I never allowed myself to go in that woe is me and worry about dying. I was more concerned about what I could do to get all the living I could in, And it's been good. Life has been good. I'm enjoying it still to this day. And I've had a hell of a life, and I've had a lot of fun. And I hope I got more years ahead of me. but this sounds like it's going to be pretty big deal. But waking up in the last 15 years, even though I refuse to give in or to take that bit of news that I only had 18 or 24 months to live, I still, you wake up every morning and you look at life a little different. And I'm very blessed and I'm very happy. And where I'm at today and the things that are going on are still great. I meet people all year round and make new friends and through, the paranormal world and through my travels. Hopefully I'll get to travel again after this. And the adventures that I have are awesome. And I look forward to doing more. But the January 9th, I go in and they're going to do another EKG and all the tests leading up to that third pacemaker. I decided to go ahead and take that risk because I've come to a point just over since October, I've really taken a nosedive. It's been difficult for me to do anything and be able to breathe. Even though I take my oxygen, and my oxygen might be, typically you guys are breathing around 96 to 98. A good day for me is 85 to 88. And I've come to a point where a lot of times I'm sucking oxygen. I have to wear, and that breaks my heart. It steals from me every time I have to put those tubes on, and because it's like I'm giving in, and I don't want to give in, but by the same token, I'm struggling, and I understand suffocating. There's times where I woke up in the middle of the night and my oxygen would be all the way down to 56. I should be dead. I don't know how I've survived. I guess I got something to do here that maybe I don't even know yet, or maybe never will know, but apparently I got things to do still because I've survived a lot. But even then, I'll be sitting there with oxygen and it be showing 92%. My whole body is just suffocating and I'm just sitting there just gasping for air. And it's horrible. It's horrible. It's come to the point now where I said, okay, I've lost the quality of life that I want to live. I can't travel anymore. I can't do simple things like just taking a hike. I can't walk for very long. It's affecting my overall body. Sometimes, I have uncontrollable leg cramps and stuff that sometimes they last, a minute or so. Sometimes they can go for an hour and a half, and there's absolutely nothing I can do but just lay there and bear the pain. I feel my big toe, and it starts to stick up like that, like it's getting an erection. That's the only thing that gets an erection these days. My big toe. But I know it's about to happen. I know that I am going to get this massive cramp that goes all the way up both my legs, and it's horrible. I can't breathe, and I'm sucking for air. Even with the oxygen, I got cranked up, and I've got, even with the oxygen, the problem is my heart's not turning it into oxygen to feed my body. It is blowing air into my lungs, but my lungs are not, and my lungs, they're down to about 30%. The right lung is completely gone now. My left lung, I'm at about 65% of it gone. So I'm working on, minimal lung capacity, but that's not the issue here. The issue is my heart not being able to feed my body what little bit of oxygen I can get. Because if I have oxygen, I could still function and do simple things, which is fine. I understand. I'm getting old, and things are happening. But if I could breathe, I could still do walks, minimal hiking, maybe even get out there and do some snorkeling, when I'm down in the ocean or lakes or wherever, and do things, just explore. Right now, I can't do that. I stopped twice just getting from the RV to here, and we're talking, 100 yards to the front door, and then a flight of stairs to get up to the second floor. I had to stop twice. I just don't have the air. So, point being is, my quality of life sucks. Matter of fact, it just sucks. And I've just come to the point where I said, something's got to change, because I can't go on like this. And I've lost the quality of life that keeps me going from day to day. It's time. And two, I put it off. The batteries in a pacemaker have to be changed. They said every 6-7 years, 8 years on, and I've got this little monitor on my phone, and it relays back and forth to the guy that keeps track of my pacemaker, and they're able to see any fluctuations, and they're also able to measure the life of the battery. The battery's still got years left in the pacemaker that I have now. And by the way, I point to my left side. It's the right side from what you guys see, but it's on my left side here. It's a little tiny thing now. It's not that great big gigantic thing they had over here on my right side. And it does fine. So hopefully on January 9th, they'll do the EKG, do some blood work, and some other things. See, maybe I need a stent. I don't know. So, maybe I've got some blockage in my heart. All this will be determined on, I've got 3 different tests, 3 different appointments on the 9th. And I would think that the last appointment is with my heart doctor, surgeon. And we will then be setting up a date for that 3rd pacemaker. And I'm willing to take that risk, because at this point, I don't feel like I got anything left to lose. It's either going to kill me and I'm on to the next dance, which is kind of interesting to me. I'm not, I've made peace with God and have my fire insurance keep me out of hell. Hopefully, if all that stuff is true, and being a paranormal investigator, I'm going to hang out here at the Abbey for a while, and I want to see what the next dance is about. I'm not in any hurry to get there, but it is gonna, it's always been an interest of mine. What's next, So I'm not afraid of dying. I've had to deal with the thought of that now for 15 years, and so that doesn't scare me a bit. I feel bad for people that love me, and people that are going to miss me. All those gobs of people that call me on Christmas Day, or send me birthday cards, or calls and see how I'm doing. all 2 or 3 of you. And I'm sure they'll miss me. But what's that? What I got there? Hey, Wanty, how are you, brother? How are you? Cool. Wanty, you stay in touch. And Happy New Year's to you, too. I never got back to your message this morning. Happy New Year's to everybody, in fact. So at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and schedule it. I'll let you guys know when that's supposed to take place. And I'm sure Axbatch will keep everybody informed, anybody's interested. And I see it that I'm too damn ornery to kick off yet. I still got things that I think there are plans for me. And if it works out, I'm hitting the road, guys. I am definitely going to try to get some more roadside ventures in. And the Abbey will always be my kind of home base. But I can leave for 3-4 months and come back, or 2-3 weeks and come back. But I bought the RV to travel in and not sit in the parking lot and croak. That's not my intention. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm optimistic. You know, I put it off because I hadn't felt the need all these past couple of years. My breathing wasn't that bad, but it's gotten to the point now where yeah, it's just time. It's time. So I'll be doing that this year. And at any rate, that has been a big part of why I haven't been doing too much on Streamlabs here. Another big reason I haven't been streaming is they changed all the internet here. They've gone from what we did have, what Wanty came in and he installed 2 Mayhems ago, all the mesh system for wireless internet down in the basement, which was awesome because now we have internet pretty much. It gets a little sketch when I get back to the electrical room in the basement, but other than that, we've got great coverage throughout the basement of the Abbey here, which before we didn't have any internet. Then last year he came in and during Mayhem, and he put another repeater into the priest dining room on the first floor. That opened up the chapel and the library and the sacristy, so that we got good internet there. Then from that, the Abbey used to, and I say used to have pretty good internet on the first floor. It was on a different repeater. Then on the second, third, and fourth, it got progressively better as you got higher on the floors. But they changed the system, and they went with the Google thing that's kind of like Alexis, or I don't know. At any rate, it goes for about 30 feet and you're dead. So now I don't have good internet when I'm walking from floor to floor like I did before, because the internet is dead, because those things, I guess they only push power for so many feet. And given that this building is concrete, steel, and wire mesh in between, it's a tough building to do internet in, which is why I'm hardwired. Now, why I hardwired everything. You guys like Kat and Nicole and Wanty, you guys all seen the beginning where it was so frustrating because I would lose internet so badly that I couldn't stream, and it was frustrating as hell. And you guys came through and got the system up and going, and then I got a computer from Brute to help me with finally having a system that could handle everything that I needed to do, all the wiring, the cameras that Kat and Zombie had supplied with me. You guys have been amazing, and you've made all this possible. But you also started at the bottom and watched me progress and figured out, wow, he needs this, he needs that. A simple microphone that actually, they're expensive to get a decent mic, but they're worth their money. And then now I've got a little push button Streamlab or Stream Deck, and Yeah, I'm high society here. So I've got all the tools that I need, but then they went and pulled that switch on me. And not only that, the computer upgraded to Windows 11. First off, I don't like Edge, but that's not the big problem. When it upgraded to that, then the cameras here at the Abbey, the monastery, quit working because they had to have the old Explorer. I since, by the way, got that working now. So we've got all 18, 20 cameras going now. They're all working again, functioning, because they're all hardwired. And but the 8 cameras that the monastery had was on an old DVR system that only works with Explorer, and I don't have any control over that. I'm tapped into it, but that's their network, and so I can't do anything to it but share their cameras to you guys via Explorer. And that was fine and good in Windows 10, but when it went to Windows 11, it required that you get Windows Edge. And I know this sounds funny to you guys, but when I went to Windows Edge, it said, no, you can't use Explorer anymore. You have to go to Edge. And they did have a compatible part, which Kat tried to point out to me. Let's see, Mike has... Sorry, I'm just not catching the chat. Oh, wow. Well, good luck with his surgery, that's for sure. And by the way, guys, Nicole, if you guys want to jump up here, provided I'm around, in the next few months, the weather hasn't been too bad here. It hasn't really gotten that cold. So you're welcome to come up and visit me if you can, or you feel like it, and do some investigating. That'll work. I don't know how far I'll get. I have good days and bad days. Some days I'm feeling really good. Other days, just bam, I feel like crap. At any rate, back to where I was, which I've kind of digressed to the point where... Yeah, it's been great weather here for the winter. Very, very mild. But so I know that all this, a lot of you guys, this whole internet stuff sounds pretty foreign, but and it was to me. I know a lot of stuff now that I never knew before, and quite honestly, I don't want to know. But I've had to learn. A lot of learning curves, but now because I don't have control over their internet, when they make changes like putting in the little series and changing the internet, it totally collapses everything I've finally gotten used to and been able to deal with. But whenever Windows updates and the Abbey updates their equipment, then I have to change everything that I'm doing here. So it's been a mess trying to keep everything going. They changed the internet, and all of a sudden I thought I was being metered because the internet was so bad. But you got to understand that that's why I can't stream from the RV right now. In fact, Monty and I were talking about it, but we never went beyond that. I'm looking to try and I'd be happy to buy it, but I'm trying to find a repeater of sorts that I can put on the RV. And it sounds simple enough that I could put on the RV. I could buy one of their Google systems, exactly like the system that they're running here, and they have no problems with me tapping into their internet here. But I also want something that when I'm on the road, if I pull up to a McDonald's or somewhere that has public internet, and I want to upload or stream while I'm on the road, then I can use it to tap into these public internet things along the road. So I'm not just obligated to the Abbey system. And I had a little box back in the day that would do that. And I could be, sitting in the parking lot at McDonald's. I had to be in close proximity, but I'd be at least in my own environment, so to speak, and be able to tap onto their internet and upload and download and do whatever. So I'm looking for that kind of a system. And I don't. It's beyond me. I'm not the. I'm the guy in front of the camera, not the guy that makes everything happen behind the scene, but I'm both. But it goes way beyond my knowledge, and that's where I depend on you guys for coming up with some of these answers for me. And Axbatch is great. He's the techno guy. Everybody knows that. Between him and Wanty, they got me fixed up. And Cat knows a lot too. Cat knows a lot too. So, but yeah, that's what I'm looking for now, so I can start streaming out of the RV a little bit more, and because I got some fun stuff. I still want to do spin the wheel. Tell you some of my stories, whether you want to hear them or not. Some of my adventures and things that happened, as I recall, in 1964. I got a lot of stories, and I'd love to share them with you. There's some other things that I've been working on, and that would be kind of fun to do. But again, things got to work when I turn them on, like when I turned them off last, which has been very difficult these last couple of months. B, if they're not, I lose interest very quick because I don't have the energy, and it gets frustrating for me to have to reset up the cameras or reset up this or download this and upgrade to that and do this. And that's all part of it. I understand. But the complexity of things that I deal with just to do a stream from the Holy Cross Abbey and from an RV, and not having the luxury of owning that the hell they call them, not the repeater, but the at any rate, router. There we go. Not having my own personal router and total control over the internet system, and being in close proximity with 20 billion gigabytes of upload and 40 million zillion quadrillion megabytes of download speeds. I'm working. The other day I was so excited because I got a speed of 124 megabyte as an upload. Woo-hoo! I was flying high. I was telling you what, I was tall turkey then. It was lightning fast. I couldn't keep up. My hand couldn't move fast enough. The speeds were just crazy fast. So, yeah. And meanwhile, Jason's over there saying, well, I think we're up to a terabyte and a half. And, I blink. I think of something I want to see, and 20 pages opens up. Not around here. Everything is difficult. And, yeah, I need to do that. And especially when I get on the road, I've actually thought about, Starlink that Elon has, because you don't have to even have cell service. And that's one thing that I found out when I was on the road. Regardless of where you were at, you were dependent on cell service for internet. Using my phone for a hotspot, you had to have cell service. Who is this old man, right? And I forget who he is. By the way, guys, I don't know if you saw my little video I put out the other day. I heard the song "When Did I Get Old?" and it just called to me. I could relate to it so much, and so I made a little video on YouTube. You can catch it on my What's Up Gramps YouTube channel and check it out. It's kind of sad, some people say, but that's not what my intent was. It was just a observance on my part to see how fast time flies by, how quickly it goes by. And the older you get, it just goes quicker and quicker and quicker. And before you know it, a lifetime has passed. Where the hell did it go? You know? Because inside, I still feel like, you know, my mind and my desires and stuff are 20-year-old, but my body said, oh, no, no, you can't do that no more. Where did that time go? You know? Right? It's crazy to me. Crazy to me, but at any rate, check that out. It was kind of a fun one to do. I was inspired by the song. Yeah, seasoned, right? Seasoned and wisdom. Definitely have a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. So hey, Batch, I was telling everybody tomorrow's your birthday. Happy birthday. Hope you do something fun and exciting, whatever that is. I plan on probably doing a Walmart trip and maybe some laundry. That'd be a big day for me. It's about that time. I didn't want to go today because I just didn't want to go today. So those are kind of the updates that have been happening here. Oh no, he only has one birthday. I'm the one that you got to question. But tomorrow is his official, really, truly, and honestly his birthday. Yep. So I don't know, what was that? See, that'll help me feel old. How old are you going to be, Jace? I don't even know now. 46? 7? 46? How old are you going to be? $46. Yeah. So, yeah. Many, many moons again. So that makes me going to be in February. That makes me going to be 68. I think I was 22. Yeah, I'll be 68. Well, doesn't that make you feel good? Hey, but I'm still here. I'm still able to talk about it, right? Huh? 67. Yeah, 68. That's what I said. Yeah. 68. Can't wait for 69. Be the last highlight of my life. Anyways, so what I thought I would do today, guys, is basically just fill you in on Mayhem again. Switch that cam back to my second monitor. Ta-da! Mayhem 11 is officially scheduled for May 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th this year. Tickets will go on sale tomorrow. I'll put the link up. I told everybody earlier, you're going to have to watch earlier if you want to see what's going on at the Abbey. The Abbey Monastery is closed, officially closed, until March 1st. So it won't affect anything. Won't be affecting anything that we have going on. at any point in time. But for any visitors, it's not going to be open basically to the public. So it doesn't affect me, as I said. I make them money, so I'm all good. Let's see. Other than that, that was about it, guys. I was planning on again, if you want the information for Mayhem, I'll put that link up again. Copy. What's all that? What is all that? What the hell is this? There we go. All right. Control V. Enter. All right. So there's the link if you want to check it up. We put it in the commands. Mayhem. Okay. Yeah. You could do that. I can't, but you could. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of happy that when I fired up the show in the very beginning here, I didn't have audio again. I spent 3 days just getting the cameras to work again down at the monastery cameras, which let's see. Let me switch command scene again. Let me go over here to see if that actually took, because if it did, I should have get this over here. Should be able to pull up those cameras here for the monastery. I'm going to go back here to my let's see, what is it? Dun, 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 dun. Yay! I got cameras. See, I got cameras. So let's go to, come on. There we go. All right, so we got the cameras working again, all down in the monastery. Had quite an interesting thing happen to me. I was down in the potato cellar yesterday. I came in and I took a bunch of photos from the 4th floor down to the basement, and I was just playing with different angles and stuff. And playing with the different angles throughout the building and whatnot. And I come up with a lot of cool photographs. So I got ready to leave, and I went downstairs to the oh, that's weird. Oh, went down to the 1st floor there, and the door that is right here, you could just see the edge of that door. They were shut and locked, and you can't get out from this side. So I had to go down into the basement. I could have went upstairs, but I went downstairs and was going to go through and just bypass that whole section and then come up through the doors right here from the basement. So as I went down there, I decided, well, I'll start taking a few different pictures, and I'll have to pull them off my phone. Maybe I could, let me see here. No, apparently my Stream Deck needed updated too, and I didn't do it, and I can see now it's not functioning. So I have to redo that. So I have to do it the old school way. Let's go back to get this set up. Let's see if I can get into my Facebook real quick. I'm trying to show you what I captured, and I don't understand what it is, but I think it was that tall thing in the basement. And according to Sean, I had several things happening all at once. And I ended up spending about 35 minutes down there trying to figure out what the hell was going on. God, I hate Edge. Let's do it this way. See if I can go into... One moment, please. Let's see here. Yeah. Crap. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Damn passwords. Jason knows what I'm talking about. I'm trying to sign into my Facebook page, but I got 40,000 passwords for everything that I ever deal with. And so I've reached a roadblock because of the update. I have to re-enter my login information to get in my Facebook. Hence is probably why, oh, something happened there. Hey, I got in. All right, now let's go to old Shawnee boy. I want to show you the pictures that I'm trying to get to, and then you'll understand. And I haven't enhanced this. I haven't done anything to them. In fact, I immediately text him over to Sean and let him look at this stuff and try to figure out what the hell I was looking at. And then he was actually sending me to different locations during all this. All right, let me see here. So I've got it here. There we go. All right. So I take this picture, right? Just shooting down the hallway, and like I say, I was just taking random photos. And I'm standing right outside the door. If you look right here, I'm standing right beside that door that opens by itself, right? So then I take a second shot. And if you notice this, okay? And so I didn't notice this when I took the picture. So I walk a step or two and take another picture. And I get this. What the hell is that? What would cause that? Pretty weird. So we go from here. We see it start to form here. And then we go to this high energy thing. And if you look, it stretches the entire length of the hallway there. So I don't know. In the conversation, Sean said it was the tall guy. And it makes sense to me too, because if you look, there's nothing. Then I take another picture and this starts to form here. The tall thing had to have been in this room here, and that's its shadow stretching all the way across the hallway there. It's what but the energy that is collected with it is just amazing. So I didn't feel anything I didn't feel anything like any changes or anything happening. But I said, this is fucking weird. So I text Sean right away, and Sean then sent me down the hallway. Let's see here. As we're talking, and then we get this. Come on. Leave. And there's something right here. You can't tell it in this picture. All right, let's see. I can't enlarge it here. But there's something down at the end of the hallway. So he sends me down to the end of the hallway. I go to the end of the hallway, and of course there's nothing there. He says it's in the other room, and it's trying to elude me. So I go into the other room, and this is looking into the room where that goes into the museum. There's nothing there unusual. Then this is the room across the way. That's the monk's study. There's nothing unusual about that picture. So then he sends me back up the hallway, and look at this. I've got this thing back here, and it's fixing to head into the library or museum again. So he sends me back into the museum. I don't see anything in the museum. So I go to the opposite end, and I shoot looking to that direction into the opposite end. I don't see anything unusual there. Nothing here. But right there, you just catch a little glimpse, and then something went across the floor there. So he suspected that was the crawler. That I was dealing with the not only the tall guy, but the crawler had gone across it. And that's typically where the crawler is found. But the tall thing seems to keep the crawler at bay. So I get back to the hallway, and I'm looking up the section here, and that's where I saw the shadow move across here back into the hallway. So I go into the gun room. There's nothing happening there other than, and you really can't see it again. There's a mist right up here on the ceiling. You can't see it in this, and then this light glow right. The ceiling's got this mist right up in here. And then there's just this slight glow right here where that mist kind of faded into. So then I head back out to the hallway, this back where they have the vortex built. Nothing really odd about that. So I start out the hallway, and again, you see something creating the shadow here, and there's nothing in that doorway that can create the shadow, whatever it is. And this is looking up towards the kitchen now. That little piece of glow you see there is looking towards the kitchen. So I head back down to the potato cellar. The potato cellar door is right here because Sean said, well, maybe there's something in the potato cellar, and maybe the tall guy's down there. Took this picture. I think there's a couple of them. That's with flash, and I think I got it. Yeah, and that's without the flash. No, that's looking back down the hallway there. But you could see right there. If I could blow this up, you could see right there. There's something standing at the end of the hallway right there. And again, it's tall. It's tall. So and it's right at that doorway where I caught all that energy coming out of that door. Right there. If you can yeah, you guys probably can't even see it. But it's whatever I was chasing was eluding me. Now that shadow figure that was blocking the light here is gone. There's nothing blocking that light coming out of that doorway now. again, and I'm getting a little bit of that disruption right here, of that tall energy. And that's, again, looking down towards the kitchen. I go all the way to the end of the hall. I'm looking back down the hallway. And again, right there, there's a figure that I see in my peripheral going back and forth, back and forth. But if I looked at it straight on, nothing would happen. So the movement was only happening if I wasn't looking directly at it, which was, again, kind of odd. Yeah, be careful out there, fellas. At any rate, so that was a series of different photos that I took while all this stuff was happening. So at no point did I ever feel threatened or even freaked out or anything like that. I was more curious as to what the heck's going on. But Sean seemed to think that I was dealing with the tall guy, the crawler, and the guy out of the potato cellar, the campfire. So I don't know. Then it was just too freaking cold. That was after being up and downstairs for 3.5 hours. I called it and said, well, whatever it is, I'll visit with them later, but I'm heading to the RV, going to get me something to eat and get off my feet. And so that's what I did. But that was pretty cool. Pretty totally, I wasn't looking. I was just using that to exit to the other end of the building, so I didn't have to worry about trying to figure out how to go through those locked double doors. And totally not planned, but some pretty cool catches, I think. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see here. Just for grins, because I'm here. Here's that video I made. You guys can check it out. It's 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Well, it was kind of fun. Let me see here. I suppose the sound is on. I don't know, but
when did I get old? When did everything change? I don't recognize this world. I don't remember this pain. Did time speed up? Or did I slow down? When did I get old? It's all behind me now. I used to fly so high and not fear a thing. I was 10 foot tall, everybody knew my name. But the world keeps turning, statues begin to fall, and now I'm just a man who used to have it all. So when did I get old? When did everything change? I don't recognize this world. I don't remember this pain. Did time speed up? Or did I slow down? So when did I get old? It's all behind me now. there ain't much left of the man I was. I'm just a rusty outline covered in dust, but it happens to the best of us all. Another one rises while another one falls. When did I get old? When did everything change? I don't recognize this world, I don't remember this pain. At time's speed, or did I slow down? When did I get old? It's all behind me now. When did I get old? It's almost over now.
Anyways, that was kind of fun. That was kind of fun to put together. Just a reflection of my life, you know, and just a few things, but it's interesting to me that the only way that you have that kind of a reflection is to get old. And it's interesting to me that here I am. You know, all of a sudden, I'm still that guy sitting, you know, on a log in the very beginning there, that young guy. I was like, geez, how old was I? 28, 29 years old. I'm still that guy inside my head. You know, I got the wisdom. I have the wisdom now, and I see things a lot different than I did. But man, what an adventure! What an adventure! I've started sharing a lot of you. I know, like Kat, you're not on Facebook, but I've been sharing a lot of my photos. I've been digging into some of the stuff. I can't tell you how many 25, 30 terabytes spread out through 14 different hard drives of just photographs that go way, way back or, you know, recent. And some of it is a lot of really great stuff that I'm trying to just kind of share with it, because I've had so many adventures and a lot of great memories. A lot of stuff that I did when I was young. I was outdoors. We didn't have Xboxes and things to do inside the house. So I was out backpacking or snowshoeing or skiing or whatever, outdoors. And we would get in and backpack. I would plan these trips, fishing or whatever. I would plan these trips and say, hey, you're welcome to come along with me, but I'm leaving at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Whether you were there, whether you weren't, I left at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, like I said I would. Strap a backpack on and hike up 12 miles back into the wilderness and hang out for several days. And I would either do that with a friend or I would do it by myself. Jason had a lot of memories wrecking cars. What? Wrecking cars? Oh. That was you, not me. I didn't wreck no cars. But Jason went on a lot of the adventures with a friend I had then, Dave. Dave and Jason was old enough he could go and do a lot of these things, and we did. And I think Jason has a lot of fond memories and stuff of some of the hikes and fishing trips and things like that. But I was definitely an outdoors guy, and I wasn't, I was also, I had traveling in my blood since I was born, I think. And when I got my first dependable car, well, shit, I was doing it with undependable cars, but when I would go to work, and let's say back then I'd make $125 for the week, right? I'd go as far as like $60 would get me, knowing that it took me $60 to get there, then I'd have $60 to turn around to get back home with. And I'd spend that paycheck just going to New Mexico, going to Texas, going to Oklahoma, going to Utah, and having adventures. And back in those days, I'd occasionally pick up a hitchhiker and, well, where are you headed? Well, I'm heading to what do they call them? A commune down in Taos, New Mexico. Well, you know what? I got nothing to do. I'll take you there. And drive this guy down to Taos, to this commune, and ended up hanging out for 2-3 days, getting to know the people at this commune. That was an adventure. Gas was like 35 cents a gallon. So when I say $125, it's kind of relevant. Times were different. But yeah, can type mod Streamlabs. Okay. I don't know who you're talking to. Is that me? So yeah, I mean, everything in my life has been an adventure. Jason will also tell you that in his growing up, we didn't take conventional vacations. We did adventures. I never really had, when I was working for somebody, before I had my own company, when I was working for somebody and had vacation saved up, I rarely ever took it. My life has always been pretty much spontaneous. And at the spur of the moment, I like the option of being able to say, why not? And just go do it, And those were the best adventures I ever had. Yeah. Once I got the print shop, things changed a lot because I became married to my business. I was the first one out there at 4:00 in the morning, and I'd work till midnight every day, 7 days a week for years. And that's what Jason actually, once I got the printing company, that's what I ended up doing. Fortunately, the shop was right outside the house, so I did get to have dinner with them or see them occasionally. But if they came in the shop and whatnot, or I'd run in the house. But yeah, that was my lifeblood. I spent a lot of time in that shop, worked my ass off. And then if there was a 3-day vacation for everybody else, I might extend that 2 extra days one time a year. And we'd always end up in New York because that's where my ex-wife's family was. So that was, of course, our vacation, was to go to New York. I hated it, but I made the best of it. I actually had a lot of fun because they were up in Lockport and near Niagara Falls and Fort Niagara. I actually, to my knowledge, I actually got to investigate Fort Niagara due to an uncle who was a security guard there. More or less, he was with the Parks Department, which is taboo. You can't investigate national park like Custard, Little Bighorn or something like that, historic sites. You can't. But because of people I knew, I was able to investigate Fort Niagara. I've got video footage on the old VHS tapes, the big VHS tapes, and a great big video camera of an investigation. I think they're over in Jason's garage somewhere. I don't know where the actual tape is, but I got to investigate Fort Niagara, which to my knowledge, I'm the only one that's ever has or ever shown any footage of it. Another adventure, just everything has always been that way. And I've always been one willing to take the risk, and I never had a problem with asking and being told no, I just sneak around and do it anyways. But if somebody says, you can't go in that building, oh, that's too bad because I really wanted to. Is he looking? All right, I'm going. What the hell? I've always lived on the edge, and it's been fun. A lot of fun. Trying to read your chat there, see what's going on. Mayhem 11, okay. There we go. Got it to work. There we go. All right, cool. We still need to work on knitted caps for Sir X. I would like to get a knitted cap with ghost cramps or something on it. I just don't know how to. One day I was actually trying to get into my store. After about 20 minutes, I just said, this isn't worth it. I've lost interest. I don't want to do this no more. And so I quit. But again, that's where I depend on your guys' expertise because I don't have the patience, and it gets very frustrating. And I guess I'm getting to the point where my mind is kind of like rabbit, duck, tree, airplane. I can't stay focused for very long. But at any rate, with that being said, guys, that's kind of, I wasn't planning on sitting here and what am I doing? Just babbling. I was going to get in, tell you about Mayhem. Everybody knows Mayhem tickets go on sale tomorrow. The second part, I wanted to give you an update on what's happening here at the monastery. So if you hear any rumors or any stories about things that may or may not be going on, don't take them, take it with a grain of salt. We're all, they've shut down the monastery, but it's temporary. It's just until March. And it has no effect whatsoever on any events that are already scheduled, be it a wedding, be it a ghost hunt. And really, there's nothing planned anyways. The people that it would affect are the clubs like the Lions clubs, Rotary clubs, and stuff like that who meet once a month here or bi-weekly. They're going to have to find somewhere else to go for the next couple of months. But as far as me, it's not going to affect me a bit, and we'll still be booking investigations. So if you want to come in and do an investigation, let me know. And yeah, so that's it. I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and maybe run the all cams. Let you guys look at this. Connect up the Phasma box, and if you guys want to do an EVP session while I'm gone, or just kind of watch the channel, I don't know, every couple of hours, drop in, see what's happening in the hallways and whatnot. Then I'll leave this up. You guys can kind of check it out. I'm going to go on back to the RV, figure out what Archie is up to. He was out when I came in. Wasn't really planning on hanging out in here, but here I am. So let me see here if I can get Phasmo playing. remember. Also I have to get, so you guys can chat, I have to go on to Google, right? Go. I'm getting things lined up over here on the second page. Settings have encountered an error. Let's try it again. Monday. What the bleep?
Don't press that button. You don't know what you're doing.
Isn't that the truth? Here, I'll let you see what I'm dealing with here. I'm just trying to get the Phasmo box going. So I need to go to second monitor. Da, 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 da. And okay, let's try it here again. Phasmo. Here's the encounter that pops up. I hate updates. Window updates it. So now I guess I won't be able to do what I plan to do next, which was share Phasmo. So you guys could do EVP sessions. Da, 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 da. Okay, gears, more gears. Well, I don't know what all that means.